Hi there, I'm Judith Caffrey. I work in the Admissions Office at Maynooth University, and you're welcome to our Student Spotlight series. Joining me today is Ilia Marcev, who is a second year Psychology through Science student, all the way from Castlebar, County Mayo. And hi, Ilia, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Judith. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. It's an interesting degree course, isn't it? Psychology through Science. Was psychology something that you had a fondness for before you left school? I mean, was it something that you knew much about?
It was something that I was interested in, and I was kind of torn between multiple courses at the time. But I was sort of steered in the right direction until I discovered the Psychology through Science program here at Maynooth. But yeah, it's something that I've always been interested in and something that I've always wanted to do.
Oh, do you remember when it first came on your radar as a young man in school? Or
It was sort of, I think it was January or maybe even February 2019. And we were going through all the open day processes, visiting a bunch of different universities. And the week before we were supposed to see Maynooth, I just decided, you know what, I'll just have a look at their curriculum, their syllabus for psychology. And I saw that they had one through science, which not many other universities offer. So I decided that I'd look into it a bit more. And then when I saw the campus with my own two eyes, how beautiful it was, how easy to maneuver it was, that's when I made my decision.
so in school, science subjects and maths, were they sort of a strong point for you over
I took,
languages?
yeah, I took maths, physics, chemistry, and applied maths. They weren't my best. It was sort of the languages that were still my best, but those were among the subjects I did for my leaving cert. So it's sort of an odd combination, I know, but the Psychology through Science program does offer science subjects that you can do alongside your studies.
Yes, indeed. So the way that the degree works, then, could you talk us through first year when you came in a couple of years ago? What was the first few weeks like, and how did you choose your subjects?
Okay. Well, you have to when you're in first year for your going into Psychology through Science, you have to choose two science subjects alongside psychology. So maths is one of the compulsory ones, and you choose another one. I was a bit nervous choosing another science subject, so there was another option, which was critical skills, which is sort of like it's a module that helps you to think critically. It helps you with your writing skills, researching skills, which is a great, like I can't recommend it enough. Like it's a great tool to have going into university because it's a completely different system to what second level students would be used to. So those were the modules I took, and I found them very interesting. Definitely presented in a different way to secondary school. You have a lot more independent thinking to do on your own part, which is really fun. As I said, researching and everything like that was something I had to learn, but it didn't take long. Oh yeah, like they were both the psychology department and the mathematics department were very, very understanding. I know I did find maths a little bit difficult, but there is a weekly maths workshop that I made use of in first year, which is just again extra help and extra support for those who need it. And the psychology department lecturers are just fantastic. Like you can email them and they'll help you out with anything. There are tutors that are always available to assist you with essay writing or just something in the course that you just need to clarify. But it's just very helpful. It's a lovely environment.
Did you find that you had any choice in first year then? I know you got to choose your subjects to take, but on a sort of, a micro scale, could you drill down into particular subject areas within psychology that you wanted to study, or is it the same curriculum for everybody in first year?
It's more or less the exact same curriculum for everybody. Well, with psychology, it's different after first year. You get to choose different electives. But in first year, everyone's studying the exact same thing, regardless of whether you're in arts or if you're doing it through science. If you're doing it through arts, you take other subjects. But when you're doing it through science, you take maths or biology or physics or critical skills or whatever.
Mm.
But the psychology course itself in first year is the same for everyone.
Okay, so you're sitting, even though you're a science student, a psychology through science student, you're still sitting in lectures with students who've come in through the arts degree route, the
Yeah,
MH
and
six.
it's a great way to meet people because I know places are limited for the program. So meeting other people through arts is great. Like you meet lifelong friends, just people sitting across from you in lectures. So yeah, I've made a lot of good friends that way.
So it's nice that you have that kind of crossover, that you're not just segregated into we're the science students and we're arts students, that you get that opportunity to, well, get different perspectives as well, I suppose, if you're sitting in different tutorials with students from different areas.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then once you get into second year, you can take different electives. So I know there are some friends of mine doing accounting or gender studies or film and media. So they're branching out even more, which is great. It's there's so much overlap as well between the modules. So there's never a huge jump, and you find that everything you're learning you can use to some degree in your life, maybe later on in your career.
So you could take an elective in second year in your degree in psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, a lot of my friends took accounting, gender studies. I decided to choose more psychology-based modules. So I chose critical skills for psychology and health psychology as my electives. Just to keep it all on the straight and narrow for me. But again, it's just up to whatever your preferences are, whatever your choices are.
So what's the workload like then in second year, or even maybe cast your mind back to first year? What do you remember? What kind of was the workload like?
The workload wasn't a huge step up from leaving cert. I think transitioning from leaving cert into college, it's not a difficult transition at all. Coming out of the stress and the pressure and the crime of the leaving cert into a relaxed college environment where you feel where you're starting all over again, and everything is just so structured, and it's broken up into different modules rather than broken up into 7 or 8 different subjects as it was in leaving cert. The workload itself, it can become a little bit difficult to manage, but if you just keep on top of things and just do things when they're due and don't panic, don't cram, it's absolutely fine first year. Second year, it's a little bit harder because they expect you to know what you're doing a little bit more. They expect you to know how to write faster and research a little bit better. But yeah, otherwise it's not a huge step up.
So how do you find out about how to research an essay? I mean, I know critical skills will cover that to a certain extent, I suppose, but for those students who aren't going to take that as a subject in first year, is it possible to get that sort of support around the university?
Definitely. Just in the psychology department, there are a lot of sort of preliminary introductory lectures that will get you into the swing of researching and writing. They'll tell you which websites to access for articles or just papers that you can cite and reference. And I know I haven't made use of them, but I know the library do have seminars and writing workshops that you can use as well to just give you an extra little bit of help.
Very good. So you're living on campus, I believe. Did you live on campus in first year as well?
I did. I live in Mayo, so it's not really possible for me to commute. It's like a 3.5 hour bus. So I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. to come in 10 a.m. But I live on campus, and that's another great way to meet people because you share an apartment with maybe 4 or 5 other people, and they become sort of like a second family. And I'm still in contact with them, even though I'm not in the same building. But living on campus, it's great. It's lovely.
So
and it's so handy as well. It's so handy because I'm just basically a few steps away from all of my lectures. So that in itself, don't have to worry about catching buses or trains or anything.
No, indeed, or a 7-hour round trip. So how do you, in first year on campus, are you put with other first years only, or is it mixed up?
In first year, they have sort of different sort of areas. I was in the river area, which is reserved solely for first years. So I was with a bunch of other people who didn't know anyone and who were completely new and who just wanted to make friends. But yeah. Yeah.
So you're from Mayo. I mean, some might say you could have gone somewhere a bit closer to home to go to college. Did you look around at other colleges before choosing Maynooth, or what sold you about Maynooth?
Well, I have lots of friends who went to, who studied in Mayo and who studied in Galway, but um, and I have family who studied there as well. For me, Mayo and Galway, that's basically home for me. I have family in Galway, and for me, I just wanted to explore a little bit outside of my comfort zone and see if I could, just sort of broaden my horizons a little bit and sort of open my eyes up to a little bit more. Um, so for me, it was once I saw Maynooth and the degree program and just the beauty of campus, like it's lovely. I still go for walks around South Campus every now and then. So that was it. That's what did it for me.
Good. The what you will do after your degree, I guess it's always an interesting one, isn't it? Psychology, because you could spend a long time in college just sort of specializing in a particular area. Is that what you're thinking you'll do?
Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking I'll do. I know for psychology, especially because you're dealing a lot with people and interpersonal relationships, you do need quite a high level, quite a high skill set and high levels of qualifications. So for me, I do expect to be in college, after I get my bachelor's degree, which is it's no problem to me because I love the college environment and I enjoy the workload and I enjoy meeting new people and Maynooth itself is just very diverse, and I've met people that I don't think I ever would have met if I just stayed within my little bubble. So I took
Okay.
a chance and it paid off.
So, kind of clubs and societies wise, is that something that you can get involved in? It's a bit of a
Yeah,
challenging time at the moment, I know, but in typical normal circumstances, are you involved?
definitely. In first year, I had, well, I think there are about 150 something societies and probably an equal number of clubs. It's like you're not, you're very
Slightly
spoiled.
fewer than that, I think,
You're
but yeah,
slightly
there's certainly
spoiled,
it's over
but
100 anyway, I suppose.
yeah, you're very spoiled for choice anyway. I picked two that I said, okay, I want to dedicate a lot of time to these two. I joined the Comedy Society and the Psychology Society.
Right.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, I performed a few times stand up in the Comedy Society a couple of times. But then after a while, I realized I wanted to dedicate more time to Psych Soc, as we call it. I was the first year rep on the committee, involved in organizing lots of mental health talks and coffee mornings and movie nights aimed at anyone who wanted to join or who was already involved with the Psychology Society. And although this year it is a little bit difficult, it's just moved completely online. So we're doing almost as much as we did last year, but just on a more online setting.
Great. That's brilliant. The just when you mentioned mental health and stuff, in terms of the supports on the campus, what can you tell our viewers about that? Nothing in terms of your own personal use of them, but what is
Yeah.
available to students on the campus should they need any extra support?
Yeah. I highly recommend a service called Nightline, which I was involved with last year. I was the Secretary of Publicity for Nightline last year. It's a free anonymous call or text service for students who just want to talk to somebody about anything really. It doesn't even have to be about any issues they may have. It can just be about anything. It's run by students, for students, and it's a really helpful service for anyone who needs it. There's also the mental health service in the health center, which is again very beneficial for students who want one-on-one in-person sort of chat, I suppose.
That's great. Great. And just to conclude, do you have any words of advice for someone who is considering either psychology or Maynooth as a university?
Take it as it comes, trust your gut, and I suppose I would have to recommend Maynooth. I just love it so much. I can see myself coming back here once I graduate, and just keep on top of the workload, and it's all going to work out to be lovely.
That's great. Thanks. Yeah, lovely. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Judith.